Crochet lovers! Today we're starting a cute and simple drawstring pouch. I've explained everything in a simple and patient way so that even beginners can understand it easily. Let's jump right in. Let's start with round 1. First, make a slip knot. And simply work 25 chains. Now, skip the first 2 chains. In the 3rd chain from the hook, make your first double crochet. Continue making 1 double crochet in each chain across. That's 22 double crochets in total. When you reach the last chain, make 3 double crochets into that same stitch. Now turn your work slightly. We're working along the other side of the foundation chain. Make 1 double crochet in each stitch going back. This time 21 double crochets. And in the very last stitch, make 2 double crochets into the same space. You should now have 48 double crochet stitches in total. Join with a slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet. You can see the base of the pouch now. It's starting to take shape. Begin the round 2 with a chain 2,
but don't count it as a stitch.
Make your first double crochet into the same stitch as the slip stitch. Now make 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Now you can clearly see how the pouch has started to curve. Join with a slip stitch at the end of the round. For rounds 3 to 13, repeat exactly what we did in round 2. That's 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Make sure you're chaining 2 at the start of each round and joining with a slip stitch to finish. You'll continue this until you have 13 rounds in total. Alright, now we've finished 13 rounds. Great job. Let's go ahead and close this round with a slip stitch. Then chain 1 and cut the yarn. You can gently pull the yarn tail to secure it. Now we're going to bring in our white yarn for a nice contrast. Join the white yarn into the very first double crochet of the round. Once it's joined, chain 3. Now, skip the next stitch and make a slip stitch into the following one. We're going to repeat this pattern. Chain 3, skip 1 stitch, and slip stitch into the next. Chain 3 again, skip 1, slip stitch into the next stitch. Just keep repeating this all the way around. This will create a beautiful little decorative edge on top. Take your time, and I'll meet you at the end. Alright, we've made it to the last stitch. Go ahead and chain 3 one last time. And now, to close it all up, slip stitch into the very first stitch where we started our chain 3. And now just make a chain to secure the round nice and tight. That's it. Our round is all set and looking neat. Now go ahead and cut the yarn, and we're almost done. Take a yarn needle or your hook and gently weave in the yarn tails inside the pouch, so everything looks nice and clean from the outside. Take a moment to admire your work. Alright, now that our pouch is ready, we're going to move on and make the drawstrings for it. So let's start by making a slip knot. I'm using a 3-ply yarn for this, and I'm going to chain 75 stitches. But keep in mind, this can vary based on the thickness of your yarn. If you're using a medium weight yarn, anywhere between 60 to 75 chains should work just fine. Once you reach the length you're happy with, go ahead and cut the yarn and pull it through the last stitch to secure it. And that's it. One string done. Now just repeat the same steps to make one more string, so you have 2 pieces in total. Now comes the cute part. We're going to make 2 tiny yarn balls to attach at the ends of the strings. These add a really nice finishing touch. Here, I'm using this adorable pink color yarn. You can use any color you like. Now start by making a magic ring. For round 1, make 6 single crochets into that ring. Then pull the yarn tail gently to close the ring up nice and tight. Now for round 2, we're going to increase in every stitch. That means you'll make 2 single crochets into each stitch. Don't forget to place a stitch marker in the first stitch. This will help you keep track. So by the end of this round, you'll have 12 stitches in total. For round 3, simply make one single crochet into each stitch. No increases here. Just go all the way around with 12 single crochets. Again, keep that stitch marker moving up so you know where your round begins. Now for round 4, we'll decrease all the way around. I'm using the invisible decrease method here. It gives a much neater finish. To make an invisible decrease, insert your hook into the front loop of the first stitch and then into the front loop of the next stitch. Yarn over. Pull through both loops. Yarn over again and pull through to complete the single crochet. Round 4, you should have 6 stitches left. Now, slip stitch into the first stitch to close off the round. Before we finish, go ahead and add a small amount of fiber fill into the ball. Not too much, just enough to puff it up a little. Next, take your yarn needle and insert it through the front loops of all remaining stitches. Pull the yarn gently but firmly to close the hole at the top.
And that's it.
Your tiny yarn ball is done. Now, just repeat those same steps to make a second ball.
All right.
Now that our strings and little yarn balls are ready, let's go ahead and attach them to the pouch. We'll start with the first string, and we're going to weave it in from right to left. Take one of the strings and insert it under 2 stitches at the top edge of the pouch, just like this. Now skip 2 stitches and again, insert the string under the next 2 stitches and pull it through. Keep repeating this. Keep repeating this. Skip 2 stitches, insert under 2, pull through, all the way around to the other side of the pouch. Then pull it through gently. You'll see the string start to weave in and out neatly, creating that nice drawstring effect. Once that's done, turn the pouch around. We're going to do the same exact thing with the second string, but this time we'll start from the opposite side. Insert the second string just like before. Under 2 stitches, skip 2, and continue all the way around until you reach the other end. Finally, we're going to attach the balls to the ends of each string. Just thread the end of the string into your yarn needle. Poke it through the sides of the top. And sew it to both sides of the strands on the opposite side. Then insert the yarn tail, make a little knot, and hide it neatly inside the ball. That's it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure it's nice and tight. And there you go. Now, when you pull both ends of the strings, your pouch will close up beautifully with those cute little yarn balls hanging at the ends. Super satisfying, right? Alright, now we're going to move on to the cream part of our project. This section is going to build up nicely with some easy rounds. Let's start by magic ring. Now into the ring. Make 6 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Gently pull the yarn tail to close the ring, and that finishes round 1. For round 2, we're going to do an increase in every stitch. That means 2 single crochets in each stitch around. Let's go. 1. Now place a stitch marker in that very first stitch, so we don't lose our spot. 2 in the first stitch. Continue placing 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. By the end, you should have 12 stitches total. In round 3, we'll work a pattern of 1 single crochet, then an increase. Start with your first single crochet and move your stitch marker up again. Repeat that pattern 1 single crochet increase until the end of the round. You'll have 18 stitches now. Next, in round 4, we're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. So that's 1. Two, and increase in the next stitch. Keep repeating 2 singles increase. At the end of the round, you should have 24 stitches. Alright, round 5 is up. We'll do 3 single crochets, then an increase. Start with your first single crochet and don't forget to move that stitch marker up. Repeat the pattern around and you'll end with 30 stitches total. Now for round 6, the pattern gets a little more interesting. We're going to do 2 single crochets, then an increase, then 4 single crochets and another increase. So that's 1. Now make 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And then do an increase in the following stitch. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase again. Repeat that same sequence around. And in the last stitch of the round, we're going to place 2 single crochets to finish it off. You should now have 36 stitches total. If you're using medium weight yarn for this project, you can actually stop right after round 6. That'll give you the perfect size. Alright, now let's move on to round 7. For this round, we're going to do 5 single crochets, then an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now increase into the next stitch. And repeat that pattern all the way around. Take your time and count as you go. Once you finish the round, go ahead and slip stitch into the very first stitch to close it up neatly.
Alright,
now we're going to add some puffs. With bobble stitches, this is the fun part. So, let's get started. Turn your work and chain 2. Now, yarn over. Insert your hook into the stitch where we made that slip stitch earlier. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over. Pull through 2 loops, and hold on to the remaining 2 loops. Let's do that again in the same stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and leave the other 2 loops on your hook. Again, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and leave the other 2 loops on your hook. We'll do this a total of 5 times in the same stitch. Take your time. Don't worry if it looks a bit bunchy at first. Now, look at your hook. You should have 6 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 6 loops together, just like that. Now skip the next stitch and slip stitch into the one after that to lock the bobble in place. There you go. You can already see that little puff forming. That's your first bobble stitch. Let's do one more together. Again, in the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Leave the 2 loops. Repeat that 5 times just like before. Once you have 6 loops, yarn over and pull through all of them. Skip the next stitch, slip stitch into the next. Beautiful! That's your second bobble stitch done. Let's go ahead and make one more the same way. Once you've made 3, go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around your round. And by the end, you'll have a lovely row of bouncy bobble stitches. Pause the video if you need to take your time, and don't forget to admire your work. Alright, now I'll show you how to finish this round. Before that, we're going to make one more bobble stitch into the next stitch. So here, you might see 2 stitches, but that's actually just the slip stitch we made earlier. You can go ahead and ignore that. Now skip 1 stitch and slip stitch into the same stitch where we made our very first bobble. And now just make a chain 1. Alright, go ahead and cut the yarn now. Just make sure to leave a long tail. We'll need that for sewing it all together later. That's it. We finished the cream part. Great job! Now I'm going to show you how to make a cute little strawberry applique using this pink yarn. Let's get started. For round 1, first make 3 chains. Starting from the second chain from the hook, we're going to do increase. Increase, that means 2 single crochets in each stitch. You'll have a total of 4 stitches now. Then chain 1 and turn your work. For round 2, in this row, start with an increase. Then 2 single crochets. And finish with another increase. That gives you 6 stitches in total. Chain 1 and turn. For round 3, just make 1 single crochet in each stitch across, so that's 6 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. For round 4, start with an increase. Then make 4 single crochets. And 1 more increase at the end. Now you should have 8 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. For round 5, make 8 single crochets all the way across. Then chain 1 and turn. For round 6, begin with an increase. Then 6 single crochets and another increase at the end. That gives you 10 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. For rounds 7 to 9. For the next 3 rows, just do 10 single crochets in each row. Don't forget to chain 1 and turn at the end of each row. For round 10, now we're going to shape the top a little, so start with a decrease. Then make 6 single crochets and finish with another decrease. You should now have 8 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. For round 11, do 1 decrease. Then 4 single crochets. And another decrease. That brings us down to 6 stitches. Now just make a chain to finish off your work and cut the yarn, leaving a long tail so we can sew it later. And finally, to make it look like a real strawberry, take some yellow yarn and add tiny little seed stitches across the surface. Just scatter them around nicely. I actually forgot to add that earlier, but I added it later on, so keep watching. Now let's make the strawberry leaf. It's super easy and really adds that cute finishing touch. First, chain 4. Then slip stitch into the second chain. Now go ahead and make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. That's your first leaf done. Let's do it again. Chain 4. Slip stitch into the second chain. Then make 1 single crochet and another single crochet into the next stitch. And one last time, chain 4. Slip stitch to the second chain. Single crochet and 1 more single crochet. Now chain 1 and make a slip stitch right into the base where all 3 leaves meet. That ties it all together. In between the leaves, we're going to add a stem, just chain 4. Slip stitch into the previous slip stitch. Then make one more slip stitch. And make chain 1 to secure everything. Now cut the yarn, and don't forget to leave a tail to sew the leaves onto your strawberry. Cut the yarn, and don't forget to leave a tail to sew the leaves onto your strawberry. And that's it. Your strawberry leaf is ready. Cute, simple, and perfect to finish off your applique. You can either use glue to attach the cream and strawberry part, or sew them together using a yarn needle, whichever you're comfortable with. Alright, I've attached it. Now go ahead and attach the cream part to the pouch. And that's it. Everything is done. If you'd like to see how to sew it step by step, just leave a comment below saying part 2. If that comment gets more than 50 likes, and I'll upload that detailed video as part 2, just for you all. I hope you enjoyed making this with me. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cute crochet tutorials. See you in the next video. Happy crocheting!